So in this video, I'm going to share with you that perfect move to start the downswing. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the first move to correctly start your downswing. Right, so I think starting the downswing, there can be a lot of thoughts going on for golfers, and I think a lot of stuff is discussed, and I'm guilty of this myself, putting it on there about different feelings that people want to have in order to make that downswing correct, so we get the club on path, so we don't need too much club face rotation through the bottom. So what we're going to talk about in today's video is how I'm going to get you doing a really simple little movement that's going to make it very, very easy to achieve what you need in your downswing. Now, obviously the idea of the downswing is to get you into that ideal impact position that's going to give you a nice, good strike, powerful shot with some decent accuracy. And if we just talk a little bit about impact position to begin with, what we would want to see, definitely with an iron in our hand like I've got today, is that at impact, we would be looking for our weight to be more into our left side, so our sternum kind of in line with the front of the ball or maybe slightly in front. We want the hips to be turning out the way slightly, the chest to be opening out the way, and as a result of that, creating some forward shaft lean, and that's going to collect the ball and then the ground. Now, I think there's nothing better than watching a golfer through slow motion that's got that good impact position. But equally, I think there's nothing worse than kind of watching somebody in a kind of very weak impact position who hits some good shots, but the difference between the good one and the bad one is massive. And it's always down to that consistency, isn't it? There's no point in having that golf swing that maybe 1 in 10, 2 in 10 is great, but maybe 3 or 4 out of 10 are absolute disasters, and the ones in between can be anything from 7 out of 10 to 4 out of 10. So I think once we get to the top of our backswing, what are some of the things that golfers talk about they want to feel? Well, the first thing they want to feel is that it's the lower body that starts the downswing. The golfers then tell me that they want to feel that they get the weight moving into that front foot. They want to feel that the hips are opening up, that the chest opens up. And nowadays, particularly with how much more understanding there is about kind of using the ground, golfers also say that they want to feel that they get some kind of pressing down into the ground as well. Now, if you just stop and think about those, straight away there's kind of 3, 4, 5 things to think about. And I think it's incredibly difficult to even actually just maintain our level of focus in one area. So what I want you to understand is what I see with a lot of golfers when they struggle on the downswing is kind of one of two things. Either they get to the top of the swing and they are very upper body orientated. So it gets the club moving outside, the club's much kind of more left, and then we have to manipulate with the club face. Or the other one I tend to see, maybe more with good players, is they get to the top, and because they're trying to go with the lower body, the hips move towards the golf ball, and actually then, as they've moved closer, the hips then stop, and they have to hit it with the hands. So from face on, we get here, the hips move closer, the body can't open up, so we have to square up with the hands and arms. Now, not that I'm going to put myself necessarily in the better player category, but that's definitely more of my fault. And this little bit I'm going to share with you now definitely helps in my golf swing. So what I want you to feel is go to the top of your backswing, wherever you get to, whether you be somebody who only gets kind of part way back, but still gets a fairly full turn for you, or whether you're somebody that gets a much longer backswing. Now, what you'll notice at the top of your backswing is generally your knees have got a little bit closer together. Okay, so that first movement, I want you to feel that your knees split. So the knees go wider, and we actually go down slightly into the shot. Now, from down the line, what you'll see this benefits is the first thing it does is it starts to unwind the hips. it presses down into the ground, and then from there, it's very, very easy because that left hip is now back. It's very easy for the body to keep turning through impact. Now, I'd love to say I could get into that position at impact. Don't think I ever get that far around. But if I were to just hit kind of a normal one without working on this, just a little bit slower, I can definitely feel how my body goes a little that way, and it's much more hands and arms, and that's where I get that big left miss for me. So I'm going to do a little practice swing, back, split the knees, so get those knees moving apart. I feel I go down slightly, and then I can just keep turning my body out of the way. So it feels quite easy doing that slowly, so I would actually hit a couple of shots that little bit slower to begin with. And even though the strike wasn't perfect, it's just straight at target, a little bit short of where I would want it to be because of the speed I was doing at. But it just feels so much easier that once I get that initial movement, it feels like there's all the room in the world to swing into. And then from face on, I get here, get those knees apart. I know straight away my pelvis is back, so then I can just keep turning, and then I don't have to square it with my hands. I'm squaring everything with my body, and then the arms can fire last minute. So we've done that slow one. That started to feel fairly easy to begin with. So then just put a little bit more speed back in. That one just left edge of the green. And just fractionally short. Now, what I would say is, if I was practicing, just initially, I wouldn't be paying too much attention to where the golf ball's going. I would just try and really work on that movement. Now, that's not to say that the result isn't important, because that's why we're making this change, to improve impact, to improve where the golf ball's going to end up. So then, once you've done a few of those, then try and build up to your normal full speed. That one, probably just aimed a little straight, has just drawn. Going to be about pin high. So we're going to go one more, get to the top, allow myself to feel that those knees separate. And for me, it's very much that as the knees separate, I feel that that left knee moves out towards the target. And then as that knee moves, it kind of pulls that knee into position. And then that will allow that foot to come up on the way through. So let's go one more. A little bit out of the toe. Movement felt good. Not finishing on that one. Let's just go one more. Really try and exaggerate this movement. And it's definitely getting there. And like I said, you know, this is something that's really, really helped me in my golf swing. And if you're somebody who starts too much upper body, or does start with the lower body, but maybe gets the lower body working in the wrong way, this little drill and this little feeling could really, really be massively beneficial to your golf swing. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you have enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, please consider clicking the button below. Remember to ring that notification bell, then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.